Hi everyone. Today I want to talk to you about how you can run a marathon without a brutal marathon training plan. So I have to confess, it's a Monday morning, and normally I'd be talking about the journey of a serial entrepreneur series. However, my running post, which is due to go out tomorrow, that I recorded a couple of weeks ago, the audio was very static and muffled, so I'm having to re-record it. So I'm doing 2 episodes this morning, which is a bit of a pain. So a bit of a longer run, but it's a nice morning, really sunny and quite cool actually. So I don't hold it against you too much. But okay, so today is all things running, and this is a really cool episode. And I love this one because so many people don't know about it, and it's been game changing to me. So I'm just going through a gate. So for those of you that have tried running marathons before, or have run marathons before, or want to run a marathon before, 90% of what you'll hear out there with training plans, etc., is pretty brutal. You'll end up finding that you'll be expected to, 12 to 16 weeks before race day, you'll be upping your miles and you'll be, doing crazy mileage. You're kind of halfway through where you'll be up to kind of 20. I think on my first marathon I did up to 22 and a half miles on a training run. And although you only do one long run a week generally, you'll be expected to do probably multiple 10k runs in the week in terms of different strategies and training styles. I.e., you might be doing some interval stuff, or forget VO2 max, or a tempo run for your lactate threshold. Your long runs generally your endurance run, but there is complete valid reasons to do this style, and it works for a lot of people. But if you're anything like me and you're a busy person in terms of work and life and stuff, it's a huge commitment to invest that much time into training to run a marathon. And I want to run multiple marathons, on a yearly basis, and ultra marathons, all these sort of things. But if I wanted to do that and had to follow the training plans they recommend, I'd be spending my whole life pretty much training, and I'm never going to be a professional athlete. So what's the point? So this is where I was always looking for the best way to get bang for buck. Now I did an episode recently on heart rate training, and how you can understand the benefits of different types of training. And really, really cool. Listen to it if you don't, so you can realise the different types of training you do to get the benefit from each. And what quite a lot of people do is that they run at a typical pace, and which is kind of between two key zones, which is your maximum aerobic function, which is the threshold at which you cross on your heart rate, where you stop burning fat as an energy source. To build super endurance, you want to be running in your MAF zone where you are building energy source. And between that, which for me is 146 beats per minute, and 165, which is my lactate threshold, which is your body's threshold where its ability to remove lactic acid from your muscles reduces at that point. So you want to run as much as you can at that level to get so efficient at clearing lactic acid. Now, if you run anything between, so there's 20 beats per minute there, people call it junk miles. Now, you get a calorie burn, but you won't improve as a runner at all if you're training that zero. However, that is what I taught, and I still stand by that. However, if you're training for a marathon, there is another way where you don't have to worry about all these different types of training plans and super long endurance runs. You basically just decide, I'm going to do X amount of miles today, or I'm going to do X amount of miles this week. And there's a calculator by a scientist, I think he was from Russia or something, certainly European, maybe somewhere. And it's I don't remember his first name, but it's called Tanda, Tanda. If you type in Tanda marathon calculator, now it works for other distances as well, but it was primarily created for marathon running. And he came out with an algorithm which basically says it doesn't matter how far you run, what it matters is the pace you run it. So what he's looking at doing is working out the the number of miles you do per week versus the average pace you run it, which equals the marathon time you're trying to achieve. So all you need to do is go to this calculator and punch in, I want to run, I don't know, sub 3 hour marathon, 2 hours 59. I would love to run that, but I know I'll never be able to run that, just for the record. But you punch your target time in and the number of miles per week you're willing to commit to running. So that will, and then it will calculate what average pace you need to run those miles over the course of that week to be at that level of fitness to run that time. So the argument is that I could run 100 miles a week and the average pace would be really quite slow because I'm putting so many miles in. But I could also run 15 miles a week, but the average pace would be ridiculously high so that my body's cardiovascular system is fit enough to do that distance. And it's super accurate from 3 hours 30 marathon runners and below. Very, very accurate from 3 hours 30 to 4 hours. And it starts getting a little bit less accurate the higher up you go, but still very, very accurate compared to other calculated predictors you'll find out there. And to give you a backstory to me, I've run 4 marathons, I've run 4 ultra marathons, I think, and 2 of the marathons I hit the wall, and 2 of the marathons I hit PBs. And I used Tanda for both of my PBs. And it predicted me, from the information I popped in, it predicted me within a minute of my finish time on both occasions. Now, okay, there is a caveat. You have to get your race strategy right as well. If you go off and sprint the first 10k, inevitably you're going to hit the wall and not manage to finish. You have to have a kind of a structured race plan to mean that you're managing your energy levels, but it's super accurate. And I do this from heart rate, and I've talked about this in another episode, but it's super accurate. And all you do is the previous 8 weeks before race day. And they're the 8 weeks worth of data that you punch into Tanda, and it will tell you the fitness levels, what you're, based on your miles and average pace, what you can expect to achieve on marathon day. And that is super, super powerful. Strongly recommend you all look into this, because all of a sudden, marathon training can fit in and around your daily life. Just check, am I running down here? Yeah, I'm running down here. So I hope you find that really useful. Like I say, it's a completely different way, but it just revolutionises marathon training. And I'm going to be using this for my next, well, I'm using it for my world record attempts, which I'll talk to you about in a separate episode, as the fastest male marathon runner dressed as a ninja. That's why I started running barefoot style, because that's part of the outfit that I have to run in, which is why I'm doing it. A crazy challenge, but yeah, nothing what's life without challenges, eh? So, sorry, it's just super muddy here, as you probably gather from the way I'm prancing through it. I hate running through mud. But yeah, so that's all I'm going to cover today. To summarise, Tanda race calculator, it just means that you can punch in the number of miles you're going to do a week and the target time you want to run a marathon in. It will tell you what average pace you need to run them at. And then you can move the continuum if you think that's unrealistic, you're not going to sustain that. And the beauty of it is it's 8 week average, so when you're doing it, you can constantly update it and tweak it to move your target. So it's more of a dynamic scale. It will tell you exactly how fit you are now, because you can punch in your previous 8 weeks data, and then it will tell you what you need to do to get to the next level of fitness. So super, super important. So look it up. Let me know your thoughts. If you tried it before, how close was the accuracy? I've done it twice, and I've been within a minute on both occasions. So I swear by it. I won't be changing my style. I think for my last marathon, the longest run I did when I did a PB was a half, and I only did that once. So most of my runs were kind of between 10k, 5k, 10k, and slightly longer, maybe 8-9 miles. That was kind of bread and butter, and it didn't take over my life. So I hope that's useful. As always, lovely to see your comments on this, debates, what works for you, what doesn't work for you. My guarantee is I always respond to every comment. If it's a bigger topic, I will do a separate vlog episode on that. If you can like and share, it'd be much appreciated. It gives us better reach. If you think this is good value for other people. If not, just unfollow me personally. So yeah, thanks so much, and as always, stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.